All right, well, the wall is built, but unless you're an awesome climber, you're gonna have a real hard time climbing this thing. So let's put some holds on. It's a good place to start, actually. What holds should we use? What holds do you want to buy for this? Well, we've got a bunch of options on our website, from So Ill or Escape Climbing or Atomic. All really good options. I highly recommend go and check it out. The Escape Climbing actually does some really nice starter kits. Always a good place to start. They also do secondhand ones that are maybe a little less than perfect quality, but they're a lot cheaper. And with a wall like this, they're pretty well perfect for that. So, all right, setting your first route could be a little intimidating, but honestly, it's not that hard. You could sit here for an entire day thinking about what the perfect route will be and try and put it on. It's not really my style. I like to just throw stuff up and see how it feels. So we're gonna do that. But before we do anything, I should put down some crash pads just in case. All right, you might be curious about why we're not using a standard set of holds like most system boards. Well, there's a few reasons for it. Number one, it gets pretty expensive to be able to fill out a whole wall like this with holds. The second is really just to give you more options. It lets you pick the holds that you want in the style of climbing you want to do. And it lets you be creative in setting those routes. Enough setup, let's put some holds on the wall. I'm gonna just start with something easy so that I have something to warm up on. All right, as I'm putting these on, this is really just playing. You know, that I think a lot of people are intimidating setting their first routes, but it's not hard. You don't need power tools. All the hardware is really easy to deal with, and we have links for good stuff on our website. You really tighten these things down. These T-nuts are excellent. You might hear the wood make a little bit of noise. That's very normal. Yeah, so you might be wondering, you know, how I'm deciding where to put things. Right now, I'm just kind of feeling it out. I'm gonna have to forerun this, which just means to try it out and see what it feels like. I'm sure I'm gonna move these around, but I'm sort of just thinking about, you know, how long my body is, what the kind of move I want to do is. Yeah, so I've got this wall set up in slab mode right now, which is something pretty unique that this wall can do that I don't think anything on the market right now can do. So I'm sort of setting this route with that in mind. This route is gonna get a whole lot harder if it's not in slab mode, which is a cool thing to do as well. You can set it in one mode, move it, and see what it feels like. All right, the holds I'm using right here are just from EP Climbing. I really like these, some really cool shapes, you know, all high quality stuff. So you notice on these holds, you've got a main bolt here, and you also have these smaller ones. This is to prevent the hold from spinning around. A lot of people just really try and tighten these a bunch to stop that, but it is a good idea to put some set screws in here to stop it spinning. All right, before I stick any set screws on here, I'm just gonna try it out and be kind of gentle, knowing that these could spin on me if I'm not careful. But I might be moving things around, so I don't wanna constantly be putting on set screws and taking them off. You want to be sure you clear the area of all your tools before you try. Falling on a wrench or a bolt or a screw, it's not much fun. Yeah. You see that one did spin, so be wary of that. I like this route. It's nice and simple. It turns out I did not need this foothold, so I'm just gonna take it off so I can use it for another route later. All right, now that I've tried this once, I'm gonna go ahead and put a few set screws on so it's a little safer to keep working it. Yeah, you might be wondering, oh no, I'm putting screws into my fresh, nice new board. That's rock climbing. It's amazing actually how many times you can put new holds in this wood. I wouldn't even worry about it. I don't think I've ever seen a piece of plywood wear out from putting set screws in. Sometimes you'll have these really big holds that take up a lot of space and you need to pin them in a few spots so they don't peel up. Especially if you're using them as hand holds, you don't want the climber digging their nails behind the hold. All right, let's try this one more time. Easy, good warm up. You can kind of get a sense of how big this thing is too. It's not a whole lot of moves in this amount of space, but for an easy route, it's easy. You can make really challenging moves in such a small space. Just for reference, I'm about 5'10", so kind of gives you an idea of the scale. All right, perfectly reasonable warm-up route. It's nothing complicated, but got me moving, got the blood flowing, so I'm gonna set a second route. And I got something in mind for this one. I happen to like slab. I know I'm kind of the weird one of the bunch for that, but I wanna try and set almost a no hands route here. At 5 degree slab, it is rather difficult, but I think I can do it with the holds I have and get me some good slab practice. Okay, let's see, slab's just enough. I can do it. I don't think I can move from here, so I will use this little pinch and try that. Okay, I think that might actually work. I'm gonna need a little chalk though. Kind of funny to need chalk for a slab route, but it's a good one. Okay. Actually step through. Okay. All right. That'll work. I just thought of a cool ending too. Not bad. Not quite as challenging as I thought it would be, but definitely what I was after. All right, that's 2 routes down. I want to set a third, but this time I'm going to set the board to its full overhang mode of 15 degrees. In fact, that's a good time to show you how to adjust it. If you bought the 2 accessory handles for this to adjust it with 2 people, it's pretty simple. But with 1 person, it's not hard, but there's a few little things that you want to set up before you do it. Let me show you. All right, you're gonna be lifting this entire board up, so I'm gonna flip some of these jugs around so that you have something good to hold on to. All right, next step is you wanna make sure that the 2 top bolts are a little loose. The bottom ones never really have to be tight, so they should be loose, but if you did tighten them all the way, loosen them up a little bit as well. All right, you wanna lift with your back with the jerking motion. No, that's CrossFit. We're rock climbing, so let's do it the right way. That's vert. Five degrees. 10 degrees. 15 degrees. All right, let's put our mats back. These escape climbing pads fit perfectly in this thing. There are probably other options, but I really like these. All right, you can tighten these back up if you want. Honestly, it's perfectly strong if you leave them loose, if you're adjusting it all the time. I like to have it tight just because it makes a little noise when you're climbing if you don't, but no safety concerns there. The other cool thing about these escape crash pads is they come with these little extra guys. I like to kind of just wedge them in here so that the bar is a little safer. It's kind of climber's preference. I don't worry about it too much. I'm sure some people will put some pool noodles on this or something, but all right, we are in full overhang mode. Let's set a hard route. All right, so you saw I'm just kind of trying each move at a time to see if it's doable. It's already feeling kind of hard. I'm not really an overhang guy, but we'll see what we can do. pretty tough, but I think it's possible. Let's practice it once or twice. Almost. All right, I've almost got it. Let me just give it like 17 or 18 more tries.
Finish the video! We're running out of film!
All right, I'll come back to that. Well, in any case, this is the T-Rex climbing wall. Those are pretty much all of its features. You know, the possibilities are sort of endless. You can make your own volumes, you can make your own holds. I've seen a lot of people like sculpt 2x4s and just screw it right to the side. So it's kind of up to you. This is gonna be your board. Do with it what you will. Thanks. Oh man.